Well, hello guys. This is the Betamax man, and we're gonna do another Betamax video. This is the first video in my new place. Happy to say that I'm now fully moved in. So now all I gotta do is set up some of my shelving, which I've already done that. I've got this shelf here that I've got laser discs on, and then I've got this shelf over here that's going to have my beta tapes, and of course I still have those black shelves that we're going to put stuff on. And I've got my CRT. Anyway, so I got my tube TV there, got my 1000s, got my good old SL-2500 that I was using the other night. The 2700, on some tapes it seems to play back better than the 1000, and so I just had it kind of hooked up there. But let's take a look at this. What is this? This looks like a 2500. Well, wait a minute. It looks similar to an SL-2500, but that's not a Sony SL-2500. Oh yes it is. It is a Zenith video director. As you can see, it says video director, programmable, Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on. Yes, this is a Sony made Betamax. Now Zenith supported the beta format, and they actually had Sony make beta machines for them. Now this one is obviously a little bit different cosmetically in the front. The guts are the same as a 2500. This is an SL-2500 711D chassis, but this is a Zenith version. Now this one has some different characteristics to it. There's a slide bar here. This slides back and forth, so instead of hitting the swing search button and hitting the 1/10 or the 1/5, this one has a slider, and it has a selector, and it does have frame by frame advanced. Just this thing has everything that the Sony SL-2500 does, except for it's a manual slider. So we have still, slow, ×1, ×2, and then we have ×1 and ×2 in the forward as well as the reverse. And we do have audio dub. We have video action is what they call it, but that actually is the VTR button, I do believe. I've been after one of these for quite some time, because the Zenith branded ones do not have the Betamax lettering on the door. It doesn't have the front loading system printed on the door. The door is just black. It's just blank. Now, this is what the door would look like on the 2500. You'll notice it says front loading operation, and it has Betamax. This is the 2700. The SL-2500 was the 2500 with hi-fi stereo circuitry. So that's what that's actually supposed to look like. But now, I have not plugged this into the TV. This is the first time plugging it into the TV. Now, it's got regular RCA video out, but it has a mini plug for the audio, just like the SL-2500 does. It's got a mini plug for the audio. I don't know why they done that, but they did. So we're gonna power it on. Now, this one has a red LED power light as opposed to Sony's yellow power light. So I think it's really cool the fact that they used a red LED, because a power button being red, meaning that it's powerful, it's the greatest. You know, I don't know. I love the black or the red power light, and I kind of like the black door with no writing on it. I think that kind of makes it look a little mean. I don't know. So we'll flip the door down. You flip the door down, and we've got tracking controls, and we have other controls as well. We have our clock, our counter. So we're gonna put it on counter, and then we have bright or dim. So we can make it dim, or we can brighten it up. So I like the bright. And then we have our camera tuner or auxiliary. So we're going to put it on auxiliary because we're using the line output. Now beta 3 or beta 2. It's set for beta 2, but we can select it with beta 3, beta 2, beta 3. I use beta 2, so we're going to put it on beta 2. So I've tested it out, but I haven't hooked it up to a TV. So we've got our test tape. We've got the TV is on. This is on a Sony cassette. This is a movie called A Streetcar Named Desire. I've never seen this film before. Now, I believe this is not recorded in hi-fi, and I believe it does have linear stereo recorded on it. Doesn't matter because this is a mono machine. So we don't need hi-fi because this is a mono machine, so we don't need a hi-fi tape. It'll play a hi-fi tape because it won't play the hi-fi. If it was a hi-fi tape, it would obviously is not going to play hi-fi unless it's a hi-fi player. But anyway, it doesn't matter, so let's pop it in. Alright. But we do have cassette is inside. And they do it a little differently than the way that Sony does it. So let's hit play. Alright. I'm not seeing anything on the screen, so we may have a problem here. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, we've got a very bad, extremely bad picture. And let me turn the display. I've got my counter display on my SL-2500 turned on, so let me turn that off. It's because I'm going into the front jacks of the 1000. So this is probably why it was listed as not working. As you can see, that it is in black and white, but I think this is a black and white film. I think it's just the tracking, so we'll try the adjust the tracking. Well, let's turn the data screen off. There we go. So I think we just need to adjust the tracking. So I believe the tracking should be on this side. Alright, much better, much better. We still got some tracking issues though. Yeah, we got a tracking, we do have a little bit of tracking issues. So that could be, I could adjust the tracking on that. There we go. Yeah, the tracking is not that great. But it could be that this tape is just worn out. But apparently this is a black and white film. So let's just see, we got picture search forward. We got picture search in reverse. I was kind of hoping that this machine was going to be broken, to be honest with you, but it's not. So we'll do a review on it. So let me get another tape. Now that I know that it's not going to eat my tape, I can put a different tape in. One that is, I think if we put a music video, let's put a music video in, and because I think I'll be able to show that without getting a copyright strike. So how come a Beta Hi-Fi tape will play audio in a mono player? Because it's compatible. Because the Beta Hi-Fi is recorded with the video head, but it's still, but all the tapes, whether they're mono or hi-fi stereo, they all have a linear audio track that gets recorded onto the tape. So whether it's in hi-fi or not, it'll play in a non-hi-fi machine and vice versa. So okay, this is a Scotch cassette, which Scotch cassettes, some of them were not very good. I'm not a fan of Scotch, but we'll go ahead and for this demonstration we'll go ahead and do that. So let's hit play. I don't know what condition this tape is in, so okay, so we got some color. This is very not bad at all. So I think we can show this without getting copyright strike. What's this? Pat Batera Banana. I can't read, guys. I can't pronounce that, so I have no idea. Well, it does have some issues with tracking, so we can do some adjustments. Oh, she's terrible. Oh, look at the tracking issues. Look what's happening. So, I think what's happening is that the take-up reel is turning faster than it's supposed to, and the tape is got slack in it, and then it catches up with it, and then it slack and then catches up. But we'll have to see what we can do about that. Plus, our audio is not that great. Our audio sounds a little bit off, and it sounds a little bit muffled, so we might need to go into the audio board and check that out. But it does appear to work. So we'll just basically do a quick little taking. I got the screws loose, so we'll take the top off. But this thing actually came from a police department. Let's get this tape in. Alright. Now, what we'll do is we'll take the top off, but let me show you the sticker. I'm going to take the sticker off of it. I bought this off eBay, of course, and it was listed as not working. Don't know why it was listed as not working, but it was. So let's reset our counter. It's got a number 1, so apparently they had more than one of these. And I'm gonna take this sticker off because I don't want it on there. Now, we will do a service on this machine, and we'll do it this weekend. I've got another machine. I ordered another SL-2500. The one that I ordered, the guy sent me the wrong unit. He sent me an SL-100 instead of the SL-2500, and I wasn't that happy about it, but there wasn't much I could do, and by the time I would pay to ship it back to him, I would have had too much money invested in it. So I just accepted the SL-100, and we put a voltage regulator in it. It was funny because both machines have the same problem, but here we go. Look at this. Come on, camera, focus. Police. Warning. Registered property. Trackable by police. Network. Nationwide. Oh, nationwide. Chief of police. So apparently this was registered. Well, we're gonna take that sticker off. Oh, it looks like one of those stickers that have that stuff that it's gonna have to use alcohol to get the residue off, because it's gonna leave residue when I pull it off here. It's one of those security stickers, I think. Okay, maybe not. There we go. Pulled it off. So this was the sticker that was on it. So take that off now and throw that away. Let's take a quick peek inside. So we've obviously looked inside of an SL-2500 before. If you are familiar with my channel and you are familiar with me, you'll know that we did do a video on the 711D chassis. We also did a video on what the SL-2500s look like inside. So if we were to remove the circuit board here, we could lift this board up and we would see a belt. So this only has one belt out of the whole machine. Just this one belt that goes from a motor to the pulley, and basically this belt loads the tape around the drum. So it's the threading loading system that threads the tape. So we'll just go ahead and take a quick peek at what this looks like inside. We'll do another video. We'll take this off in another video. These mechanisms do have issues with the tape not threading around the drum. If you've got an SL-2500 or an SL-2000 portable, or you've got an SL-2700 and you're having an issue where it's not threading the tape around the head drum, this circuit board is what controls that. Also controls other functions as well. But another issue for that is a switch. It's got a switch down here that gets pressed when the cassette is inside to let the machine know that it's ready to thread the tape around the drum. But if you take a look here, you'll see how it does. But we'll do another video on this. We'll do a service video. So it's got some dirty switch, obviously, and you can see there's a lot of dust. A lot of dust in this particular one, but we'll do a full service on this this weekend, because this is going to be a 3-day weekend, and we'll take a look at it then. But I thought you might want to see the inside of one, but I forgot about this circuit board that has to be removed in order to. There's 4 screws. There's a screw there, and there, and then this thing lifts right up, and you can see the mechanism. But I just thought I'd show you. Now, of course, this actually has two doors. This flips up to prevent you from trying to put another cassette in. It basically, if you've got a tape already in it, you don't want to be trying to put another one in it, because you can damage things. Normally, another thing that happens on the 711D chassis is the plastic gears. These plastic gears become very brittle and they start to break. The teeth can shear off. There could be a crack in the loading gears, can cause issues of not picking up one side, you know, so you can have issues with that. Let's see how good this thing rewinds. It doesn't do too bad. It's solenoid activated. So anyway, I just thought we'd take a quick look at another 711D chassis. We'll before we end the video, we'll I'll show you how this mechanism is, but before we end the video, we'll take a look at the model number, because I don't know what the model number on this one is. Seems how it is a rebadged Zenith. Look how easily and how quick this drops down. This thing sucks the tape in. It doesn't, it kind of like goes down, kind of drops down into place, and it doesn't take a long time to load. It loads fairly quickly. And it spits the tape out for you. So, looks like this is a working unit. So, that is cool. We'll go ahead and put the top back on it now. And then we'll take a look at the model number. And there is a serial number. Serial number is CP. Looks like the serial number that was put on, that was stamped from the factory. CP 230 37246. I don't know if this was, I think this was stamped by Sony, so. Okay, so it's back together. So we'll take a look at the model number. You've got a model number VR9775PT. So that's got a very long model number. And the serial number. Okay, so here's the actual serial number. That number there was probably put on by the owner. But this is the actual serial number here. 121197 is the actual number. So we've got the model number on top, and then in the middle there we've got the serial number. So I think the owner is what scratched the numbers, because it looks like, you can see it looks like it's been scratched in. This was probably done by the owner. I don't think it was done by the factory, because they're not, the numbers are not uniform, and the numbers are crooked on there. So I think that was done by the owner. And we'll do another video on the, come on camera, focus camera, come on. we'll do a video on the swing search a little bit later. Now this has got a little door here for the setting up for the tuner. So you have your VHF and your UHF high and low band channels. You've got channels 2 through 6, 7 through 13, which was your VHF, and then your UHF was channels 14 through 83. So this is a 14 programmable tuner. So you can only program 14 channels. You've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And this is these tuners sucked because you had to pick the 14 channels that you wanted to make your recordings on. If you wanted channel, say, you weren't able to have channels, say, 1 through 80, you would have to pick the networks that you wanted to make your recordings on and set it. And you would hit the buttons here that would go to the different channels. When you got done tuning in the channel that you wanted, you would turn automatic fine-tuning off when you wanted to have it set. Or no, sorry. If you wanted to set your channels, you would click on, okay, you would hit on, and that would set it. Automatic fine-tuning on would allow you to tune in. I'd have to go to the user manual to really explain the tuner on this, but these tuners are not any good anymore. You can't use them anymore because there is no analog broadcasting. They haven't broadcasted analog since 2009. Now, there were a few places that would, have one or two, they might have a handful of channels that were still broadcasting in analog, but pretty much by about 2011, 2012, nobody used analog broadcasting anymore. So they made that digital transition back in '09. They started doing that. And where I used to live on the Oregon coast, where I used to live in Liquid City, the cable companies still had some analog stations. As far as I know, within the last 3-4 years, cable company did have a few analog channels that you can get without a cable box. The cable box basically allowed you to get their digital stations, but the analog stations, they could be you could get picked up by just connecting your coaxial right straight into the back of the TV or into the back of the VCR, and then going out of the VCR into the TV. but the cable boxes, they kind of changed all that. The cable boxes were used to receive the digital signals, video signals, but the analog channels are pretty much gone. I don't know anybody who, even in Lincoln City, there's no analog stations broadcasted anymore. Like I said, I remember the times when we used to have to tune there was a knob in the center, and you would turn that until your picture came in, and you could, change the channel. You'd have to tune it in, and you'd basically have to tune it in when you changed channels. And then they came out with the more advanced tuners that would store the channel, and you'd set it, you tune it in, and it would electronically it would remember the tuning. Anyway, I remember growing up with those old tuner knobs, and you turn these little clunky knobs, you just turn them until you got to the right channel, and then you just turned the center knob so that you could tune into the station. You can get because your signal would get really distorted, but then when you would tune that in, then the channel would come in nice and clear. Well, they didn't come in clear because none of the analog stations back then, broadcasted with a good picture, especially with cable company, because cable companies, they ran so many splitters. They split the signal so many times that the signal would become very weak. The farther away you were from the main office, the farther you lived away from the main office, the poorer the signal would be, but cable companies, they got the information coming in from the satellites, and then they'd split the signal to, like, say, 100 homes. You'd have 100 homes using that one line. So by the time it got to about the 20th house, the picture quality, the signal was very weak, and it would start to get like a kind of a fuzzy, snowy type picture. It really just depended on what channel it was, and that's how they did things back then. It's just, you could have, it didn't matter if you had Betamax or VHS, the quality on the tape was only as good as the signal that was coming in. And I remember we used to have an antenna on the roof, and it takes me back, back to my childhood. So it's kind of cool to reminisce of old times. But these millennials, they don't understand any of that, But, yeah, the quality of beta was definitely better. But, if the signal coming in wasn't good enough, then the quality was going to be bad. Just depending on how strong that signal was. So, anyway, see you guys in the next video. and we'll do another video on this very shortly. Probably this weekend or next weekend. We'll get this thing, we'll service it and give it a good cleaning. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.